Okay, so appreciate you taking the time to call in for an interview, and we're really glad to have you on the cover of the September issue, and I think it looks really good. I don't know if you had a chance to see a little sneak peek yet, but it's going to be what we consider our nicest cover yet. So we're pretty happy about that. So
I'm glad, man. I saw it. It looked pretty cool the other day. I like it.
yeah, very good, very good. So I guess without further ado, we're just going to kind of go through some questions. I've always been a big fan of your work and the music that was put out. Going to make you sweat, and the CNC Music Factory and stuff. And so we're going to start into this interview. And I guess my first question would be, in so many words, what would you say your compelling story is? What were there any struggles leading up to getting your big break and becoming famous, and anything that you want to talk about, what you consider your compelling story to be?
Well, it's a lot of stories. I'm texting my guy. What's the name of the magazine? Trends, right?
The name of the magazine is TR Magazine. It stands for Talent
All right.
Raters Magazine.
Talent Readers, right?
Right.
Rmagazine.org.
Yeah, we have trmagz.com, and then the main site is Talent Raiders, all one word. Do we have two websites?
What is it? Trmagz.com?
Yeah, that's the magazine site.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to elaborate on that, that would be my first question. What is your compelling story? Because some people, that there's many artists that are out there, and a lot of people don't realize that of the people that actually do get discovered, maybe it's about 9% of the people out of all the artists that are out there that ever get discovered and actually put on the map. And what led up to your big break, or what's your compelling story, or what do you want to talk about in relation to kind of getting put on the map? Do you remember those days as a struggling artist and what it took to get there? Something that you want to kind of throw out?
Wow. I think it's more focused, man.
Yeah.
It was a different time being born, growing up in the 80s.
Right.
It was a different, we lived in a different world. We're in a completely different paradigm of time now. So
I agree.
when you think about what artists did before the internet, we all did the same thing. We made demos, we went stood on the corner,
Right.
we went and sung at a club, or we
Yeah.
went and stood in front of a studio and hung out. We did all of that stuff. Now, you make a record, you put it on SoundCloud, and you see what happens. It's
Right.
a different world. So,
Right.
I did all of that stuff, man. I made demos, I shot demos, different record labels.
Right.
I ended up becoming a studio engineer, recording music, and becoming a studio engineer. I ended up working with, David Morales and Sergio Mondavi, which they called him Eminem. I worked with Masters at Work as producers, Kenny Dope Gonzalez, Little Louis Vega. And I worked with Robin Dave from CNC fame because David was really talented. David was the most, he was he was a gospel pianist, singer, he was the musical director for Sylvester. So he was really, really talented.
Right.
And so, I was a hip hop kid, always had hip hop beats in my bag. When
Yeah.
I was an assistant engineer in '89 at Quad, I always had break beats in my bag, and I always had, as an engineer, if everybody had ideas, I would go, I got a James Brown funk line I want to put into that. And so I became known as that type of engineer.
Right.
It was a very creative time. It was the era of the big studios.
Right. Right.
The 80s was, Aerosmith, Run DMC,
Yep.
Steve Harper, Lionel Richie. He was in the studio. You could be in the studio in Quad where I worked. And on
Right.
the 8th floor, it could be Marcus Miller. On the 13th floor, it could be Kumo D. On the 6th floor, it could be Cameo. So now you got all these guys in the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have that no more. One of the reasons why the music, I think, lacks today is because everybody's making music in their house.
Yeah, and I want to touch on one thing that you mentioned too that I think that was very powerful, and I think that back in the day, internet wasn't so strong, and I think that the internet is very useful, but I think it's also hurt the industry, in my opinion. I think it's hurt the industry. It's made it so easy for people to get songs from this site and that song. I mean, I just remember before the internet was so strong, there wasn't internet when I was growing up, and if you wanted a song and you wanted to get that song, you went down to whatever local record store and you bought that album and you got whatever was on that. And I think nowadays people can just get whatever music on the internet so easily. Nothing's policed. Nothing. To me, it has its positives, but I think it's also made it also more challenging. I don't know if you agree with that or not. If you want say your 2 cents on that, but
Well, I mean, the internet destroys industry,
yeah, yeah,
and it creates one industry.
right,
In 1970, you had the automobile industry,
mm-hmm,
you had the fashion industry, you had the newspaper industry, you had the television industry.
mm-hmm,
Now, all those industries are on the internet.
right, right,
So the internet swallows all the industry. So you don't. I mean, in 1950, Ford Motor Company employed, between Ford, GM, and let's say Chrysler, or Ford and GM, and whatever other big company was there, they might have employed 800,000 people.
right,
The three big internet companies, Google, Apple, and Amazon, employ a total of maybe 250,000 people.
right,
You had 1 million people working in 1950 with three industries. In 1960, to 280,000 people working in 2018, and don't have the balance now. Have
no,
more people with less available jobs. So when the government talks about, people are taking our jobs, the Mexicans, no, it's not them. It's technology that's taking the jobs.
right, 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 very, very, very,
It's not Mexicans or El Salvadorians or the Africans. It's the technology that's taking the jobs.
yeah. I think you're absolutely right. I agree. I agree. I just think that when the industry was split apart from the internet, it was set up in a way that artists could get paid for their work better than it is set up now. I just think everything's available on the internet, and everything's just way too free, and anybody can get it from somewhere. If they don't get it from Spotify, they get it over from this site or that site. They find that song. They get on YouTube. Everything's just free, and the internet
Yeah.
has made it so available that way. When you went to the record store, though, you had to pay your $8 or $10 or $14, and that was done. I mean, people. I don't find myself going to the record shop as much anymore. I might buy an album off of Amazon and stuff, but I think that definitely, I think there's so many great artists out there, or artists that are ready to break, and I think that they have a much tougher road than maybe back in the day because of the internet and how available music and artwork is easy just grab for free on the internet. It's just there's nothing to stop and police it. And
Well, it's like what I said. The fashion industry, the music industry, the film industry, it's all on the same bandwidth.
yeah, yeah,
So as an artist in 1970, I could go to the record store, specifically record store.
yeah,
I
yeah,
could go to the recording studio and meet people that were specified in their field, and we could talk the same language. If I put a song out on Instagram, I'm competing with me, comedians,
yeah,
celebrities,
yeah,
president.
right,
How you going to compete with that?
right. That's why it's like
You got
it's like too much all in one spot. I mean,
too
Talent
much.
Raiders.
It's too much.
Talent Raiders is all about having a site specifically for artists. Our particular our social site is under reconstruction right now, but when it's finished in a couple of months, it's meant to be a social site where artists can come and just post their art. You go to Facebook and you're going to see all kinds of stuff. You're going to see like car crashes and all kinds of stuff, and I don't know if that's contingent with looking at trying to view somebody's art. We're trying to make Talent Raiders just so and you have a little more ideas, that a site where people go to and they can post their music and they can post their paintings and they can post their
Right.
and I don't want, and not unlike Mark Zuckerberg, I'm nothing against him, but I don't want to have all that extra junk on my site. I want people to come here and just look at artwork. This is a premium gallery, so hopefully that'll help make a difference. And I don't. I think when you go to like some of these social sites and you see more stuff on these social sites than you would ever see on the news, I don't think it's a good thing for artists and our next generation growing up and kids and to see all that kind of stuff. That's my opinion, but I appreciate that. And I guess another question I want to ask, is I've how did the CNC Music Factory come up? How did you come up with that name? What does it stand for? Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Well, I was making records with Ralph and David as well as other engineers and producers in the studio. And I had made a seduction record with those two producers. Then we made a Brat Pack record. And I was engineering for them and working with them with different stuff, remixes and stuff, and rapping for them on different remixes. And so we were going to do a solo album. And it was to produce Freedom solo album. Let's do my album. We had talked about it for a year. And we ended up doing a group record. And that's how the CNC group record came about. It was really supposed to be my solo record.
Right.
And it became the CNC Music Project. And so, at this point, I own the trademark because I trademarked it, so.
Is that stand for somebody's name? Like CNC, is that a person's name or?
Yeah, that's Clavellas and Cole, two guys. Yeah.
Can you say that one more time?
Cole and Clavellas.
Cole and Cavellas. Okay. Well, cool. I've never knew that, and something neat to touch on. So. You've been out and doing your thing for a long time, and maybe you could tell us like what was one of your favorite concert venues or venues to play at. Is there any particular place where you would like to perform, where you just feel like totally in your element, and what's it like to be on stage in front of like tons of people and doing your thing?
It's the best.
Yeah.
I'm on a '90s tour now, so it's really exciting because there's a resurgence, right? The '90s cats are now in their 30s,
Right.
40s, and 50s.
Right.
So, they own clubs and venues, and they want to reminisce on their high school. So that's really great because we're selling out venues of myself, other '90s groups, and that's really a blast because it's almost better now than it was before because we're all more mature.
Nice.
So we can appreciate it more, we can enjoy it more. So, touring is bomb. I love it. I just got the phone with a guy that I work with, my manager guy on the West Coast, and we got two records coming out on Sony, and we were just talking about, bringing some people in for infrastructure because we need help. And, making the record really blow up,
Yeah.
into the record. So, it's a great time. It really is. It's a good time for music. It's a good time for creativity. Especially in this political climate, it makes it interesting because you have different viewpoints.
Right.
Whether you agree with them or not, it's still very creative. It's a very creative space to be in. And so, it's touring life is always great, man. Especially when you tour with your buddies that you've known forever.
Right, and like with some of us would think on our side is that nowadays with the internet and maybe people aren't buying albums as much at the store as they used to and different things, that I guess the focus for artists and artists that have been doing it for a long time is the shows because that's where you're going to probably make your most of your money and selling tickets and merch and different things. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the internet is digital, so you still want an analog relationship.
Sure.
The analog relationship comes from seeing the artist and going to meet and greets and, touching and talking to the people who have been in your life for 20, 30, 40 years now.
Right.
So, and that's how the artists make, the internet is, you make albums, we don't have a lot of album art. We used to have liner notes. We used to have the thank yous. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank my best friends from so neighborhood. All of that was a part of your album.
Right.
I remember when we were doing CNC, it was like, who do you want to thank on an album?
Right.
You don't ask anybody who they want to thank on a download.
Right.
So the relationship between creativity and longevity and putting in hard work has been decimated because there is no outside relationship relationship other than you with the computer. There's no, I gotta go, you know, do this. I gotta go do that. I gotta go to the studio. I gotta, you know, I mean, you obviously have photo sessions still, so you still have that relationship with the photographers. But I mean, people are taking selfies and using them as album covers now.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, we live in a world that's different from any world we've ever lived in at any other time in human history.
Right. Right. We do.
You know, we live in a completely different world, and
We do. People have access to so much knowledge and information in the form of a smartphone now. It's nobody ever had that much power, basically in your hand, and that's what it is.
yeah.
You mentioned the studios. You mentioned like Sony and different things. If artists are listening out there and they're going like, you know what, I really feel like I have something to contribute and stuff. What like I would say as an artist myself, you know, and also the lead singer of a rock band right now, we would say, you know what, it's not like the old days. You can't just whip out like a rough demo and get that off to somebody and they just hear the potential and they say, let me make you. We think on our side that, you know what, if we want to get really noticed by so and such a label, you really have to go to the studio. You have to have high quality, and that's what the mentality is. Would you agree with that? I mean, it's not like giving a rough draft demo anymore. You have to really have something. You have to really have a hook in the first 10 seconds, and then you basically just have to cross your fingers because the competition is so fierce. I mean, unless you have something that you want to say, like if somebody's wanting to get landed by a label and you have some advice on what that is and how to do that.
What was the beginning of your question?
Well, my question is that, you know, it's kind of like a little bit of a statement. Back in the day, I think it was kind of common where you had people that said, you know what, why don't we give this particular person a shot, you know, and let's see what happens. Nowadays, it's not so much like that. You've got like, you know, it's not like you can just put a rough tape together in your basement and send it out to somebody and the sound quality is not perfect, but they say, you know what, I hear a lot of potential in that, we'll just make that person, we'll bring them in the studio and we'll make that band or whatever. Nowadays, in order to get landed by a record label, we would say that you would have to really, you know, put together a studio quality demo or an EP and, you know, get that off to, you know, somebody in a particular record label and then just kind of hope for the best. Do you agree with that, or do you think that some labels will still take you even if you put out, you know, a poor audio quality?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're still, you know, I'm from a generation before.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm as qualified to verify it. I'm qualified to speak on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not as qualified to verify it. The verification comes from actually doing both process.
Right.
I don't really do the whole digital thing with the, you know, I mean, I got some records on Sony and I do some blast and I do some support.
Right.
But, you know, the 20-year-olds, they got 5 records on SoundCloud, 10 on this upload.
Oh, yeah.
And this is their generation.
Yeah. Everybody's just throwing everything out there.
Right. So they would know what the record labels are really looking for. I mean, you listen to what these young guys are doing in terms of how they rap.
Yeah.
They're all sounding the same melodically a lot of times.
Right.
You know, the melodies are a lot the same.
And that's not really good. I mean, if someone's going to spot you, you don't necessarily want everything to sound the same. You want something to be kind of unique and kind of like poignant, something that catches your attention. You're not looking for ever to be. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but you know, you're talking to a person that grew up listening to Lionel Richie,
right?
James Brown, you know, Flock of Seagulls, Depeche Mode. You know, it was a different. We were, you know, the craft in the '80s was truly unique to genre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Journey. You know, there's no Journey now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no Run MC now.
Yeah.
There's no Fat Boys or Houdini.
Right.
There's no Bengals now. There's no Shalimar.
Right.
So you're dealing with everything now has focused into one thing. Yes, you do have different genres of rock and roll, but it's not the golden era. The golden era of music was from
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, when you
But
talk about rock and
we're not
roll.
in the golden era.
Yeah.
We're in the mundane era. That doesn't mean that the music is not credible. That doesn't mean that these guys are not talented. That just means that they're working within a paradigm that limits them.
Right. Right.
Had Public Enemy and Gil Scott Heron.
Right.
Aretha Franklin just died. I mean, like, we had the greatest singer ever in our generation.
Right. I know. I know.
I mean, like, you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So we had Led Zeppelin in our. There's no Led Zeppelin now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about a time when music was at its pinnacle. We were coming up out of disco and Motown. You know, Rick James, and it's not what you have now. What you have is automated reproduction, get it up on the internet, kind of make it sound like something else.
Mm-hmm.
So not to take it away from these cats, but that's all they know. They don't really know nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like if you go back in the day, there was more strategy involved. There was more.
Well, we were different. We were a different human species.
Yeah. Right.
We're not the human beings that we're giving birth to are. We are dealing with a completely different human being now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids are being born 8 months old. They're literally programming your cell phone.
Yeah. Right. Right. I know. I know.
It's a completely different paradigm of human existence.
Right.
Remember, 10,000 before 1910, let's say before 1920, which was 100 years ago. But 10,000 years before 1920, the only means of travel that we knew of was a horse. Now, you can watch Aliens on the History Channel and tell you that the aliens built the pyramids. Okay, fine. Great. Tell me that.
Yeah.
They did. Who the fuck knows? The point that I'm making is that
Right.
it was a horse.
Right.
Horse was the way you traveled for 10,000 years. Now, when the car came, it completely changed the way human existence functioned.
Right.
We have entered a new chip. The car has come again, and it's the cell phone. We have completely changed the way human beings function.
Right. Right.
So when you ask about this generation of music, why is there so much? Okay, why is there so much racism? Right, that's so prevalent in our society today.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why is because the younger generation that are now 19, 20, 21, and 18, 17, and 25, they don't really know what racism is.
Yeah.
So when they see it, they don't identify it, and by the time they identify it, it's too late.
Right. Right.
If you were born in the 70s, you knew what the shit was.
You knew
couldn't
exactly.
Take a pee in the bathroom.
Right. Right. Right.
If you were born in the 60s, you knew what it was, because when you come on the TV, you know, we didn't know that the cops beat people up until Rodney King.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's a shame.
And we forgot. Think about this. From 1995 to 2000, we actually forgot they were doing it. And then when the cell phone came out, it means 10,000 times.
Right. Understood.
So, right. We live in a different, complete world. So when you ask about music, you have to think about music in terms of this generation has to figure it out now through their own paradigm.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever
Not
that.
for me to figure out, because
Right.
I come from a world where I could go to a record shop and go through all the records, R&B, and my fingers would be dirty, my nails would be dusty.
Okay,
Because
well-
I just collected 35 records
Right.
in a dusty old record shop.
Well, why don't we go back to your time for a moment, and let's say that we go back to your day, and a lot of times we like to ask artists, and like to ask definitely a celebrity artist for sure, what was it that actually spurred your break? Everybody wonders, like, how did that person get their big break or whatever? And even going back to your day, let's focus on your day. What was it that caught you your break?
Well, it goes back to the same question. We were different. All my friends had breaks.
Right.
Growing up in New York in the 70s or the 80s, you know, I went to school Jam After Jam, Run DMC, Hollis Queens, Davy D, Spider D, Sparky D. That was my neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, did you have the right connections? I mean, you guys...
The point I'm making to you, you didn't have to have connections.
You didn't have to. You just were out there, and people saw your stuff, and it just...
Everybody was getting famous.
Everybody was getting famous just by being out there and doing your craft.
It was 1980, bro.
Yeah.
It's like Motown. If you lived in Detroit in 1962, you could get famous.
Yeah.
Take Detroit in 1988 in New York City and multiply it by 10,000.
Basically, if you're in the right place in the right time at that
It's right
particular
place,
area,
right time.
and you're just out
So
there doing your thing, someone was going to notice you, and you were going to be.
all you had to do is remember, in 1987, 88, rap was only 10 years old.
Yeah, right. That's true too. It was like a
Only
new.
10
Yeah.
years old. In 1985, there was only 3 rap records. In 84, there was only 4 rap records that came out that year. Rakim of 85, KRS-One, and LL's album. And there was only 4 or 5 rap albums in the bin in 1985. Period. So if you were living in New York in 85 and you could rhyme, you could make a demo instantly. And you could go to put the record out, go to the record shop, and give the guy 10 records on consignment, and he would play the records right there while you stood there, and the kids would hear it. Like it was 1960 in England. It was the same way in England in 1950.
Right.
If you were a band, if you were a skiffle band in 1950, you know skiffle music, right?
Right.
Skiffle music, you know what that is. That's blues music that was adopted by the British band.
Right.
Right. It was playing the washboard.
Right.
John Lennon was in a skiffle group before he was in the Beatles.
How was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was a skiffle musician.
Right.
All blues. Right. So if you had a 3-man band, one could play the washboard, one could play the spoons, like literally play spoons. You know, you take a spoon, you go.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
So in London, there was a skiffle group on every block in 1950 in London.
Right.
So John Lennon switched up, left the skiffle group, and formed the Beatles with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
But if you were in London in 1950, everybody was getting record deals. So everybody was playing in what they call a milk bar.
Right.
You ever see A Clockwork Orange?
Yep.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, movie.
Remember when he was in the bar with his 3 boys and they were drinking the milk?
Yes.
And they were harassing the couple that was across from them in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
They were drinking milk because in London they had what they call milk bars where you would go drink milk.
Right.
To listen to R&B records from America.
Right.
So everybody had it. So in New York in 1980, it was like London in 1950. So when you say, how did I blow up?
Yeah.
I worked hard.
Yeah.
Believed in my craft. I studied. And I just rhymed. I rhymed with everybody. I had different rap groups. I was in a group called Soldier Few, a group called Hardcore, and we just did it.
Yeah. And I know that you're saying that you came from a certain time period, and it's harder to comment on what it takes today. But I still think that when you have all this music that's out there and all this music that's thrown on the internet, that you don't really want to try to be too similar to Breaking Benjamin or Stained or this one or that one or something. I think you want to still try to have that element of uniqueness, that when it hits somebody's ear, it's going, that's different, and that's hitting me a certain way, and that's passion. You want to be passionate, hardworking, like you say. And I think that's my opinion as an artist myself. That's what it would take in any age. It doesn't matter whether we have spaceships flying around or whatever. You still want to have that element of uniqueness. And when the CNC Music Factory came out with Freedom Williams and that woman who was singing in there with a beautiful voice and stuff, that was something that there was nothing like it when it came out. And it was amazing. And I think they're still playing it in basketball games and professional venues and stuff. There was nothing like it. And when you heard that sound and stuff, so that's, to me, that's what I'm trying to say, is that when you have something so unique but so powerful like that, like I said, even to this day, it's not dead. You can play that song and it doesn't get old. And I think if more and more artists realize that's what they need to do, I think too many times they say, these are my favorite influences, these are my bands, I want to be like them, I want to do this. But when you find that element of uniqueness and it's still high quality, I think that's going to set you up, because someone's going to go, whoa, that's different than all this other stuff that's the same. And that would be my take on any period, that you want to try to put something out there and try to be your own.
It pays to be unique. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. So I guess we want to know, one question we want to know is, what is Freedom Williams working on these days? What do we have to look forward to Freedom Williams in the future? Are you working on some new music? Is it going to be anything like what you worked on in the past? Is it a totally different feel? Or what's going on with Freedom Williams in the present?
G Sweat, the 25th anniversary record, Sweat 25. You know, I got some really good records. I got about 4 or 5 really good mixes on that one. Man, Obeck did a mix, a DJ producer out of Europe. I got another one that's really dope. That's on Sony, which is it's called Sony 5050 EDM, Global EDM.
Okay.
So you can Google it. You can Google Spotify. You know, I just got the trademark for CNC, which I own now, so I can kind of afford CNC because I couldn't before, but you know, I was getting some flack, so I got the trademark. So that's important. I got a couple more records put now. You know, I got a company I just partnered with called Chive, XAIBE.net. It's a cryptocurrency superstore. I'm really excited about that. That is a retail superstore marketplace where you can buy anything. So I want everybody to go out. If you got any merchant accounts, if anybody out there's got merchant accounts, you got product you want to sell, we do services. You can sell shoes, hats, clothes, bags, bicycles. You can sell legal services. You can sell, you know, you can sell massage therapy. You could be a hairstylist. You can sell services. We do everything in cryptocurrency. You know,
Okay, and that's a website that you're referring to? That's a website that you're referring to, or a business?
It's called, Chive.net, XAIBE.net. So you can log on and see what it is. You know, set up an account if you have a product you want to sell. If you just want to sell some basic stuff and you're not a merchant. It's like eBay. We do everything that eBay does. It's just Chive is mine. It's the crossroads, right? So, you know, when you cross roads, it's mine. So it's almost like crossing over from money to cryptocurrency. And that's, you know, cryptocurrency obviously is going to be the big thing. It's here. You know, it's going to find its groove. So, you know, we're definitely in the crypto market. And the music's going to be available for download on Chive soon. A lot of artists are going to be signing up.
Nice.
So download their music and stream their music. So
nice. Well, we wish you the best with that. We wish you the best with that. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. Man. So, you know, everybody go check it out. You can Google my music, you know, through YouTube me and what I got out, you know. And I do a lot of construction as well. I build stuff. I build my house. I'm always doing construction. So there's a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
You know, keeping it pushing, you know.
Sure. Yeah. No, there's nothing more admirable than somebody that can not only be an artist but then also build things. I do a lot of projects myself around the house, and that's really commendable, man. It's good, hard, everyday work. You know, you can't beat that. So when you're performing today, is it pretty much just Freedom Williams? Because back in the day, you had some female singers and stuff in the videos and stuff that had some really great voices. Has any of that carried over to the current day, or is it pretty much just Freedom Williams? Do you have any new singers with you? You know.
Yeah, I do. I use, you know, when I go to Europe, I do a lot of Europe shows. You know, they like to have the singers, so I have a couple of singers out in Europe that I use. I hire them out there to do background for me, and so, you know, it depends. You know, you know, I can do it by myself.
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot of shows. I'm on the '90s tour. I do it mostly by myself. I don't need a whole lot now. I'm doing 15 minutes. You know, myself. Several other '90s groups are doing 10, 15 minutes. So we've been touring for a couple of years off and on. So, but then I use my singers. I have singers in America that I use. I bring them. It really depends what the promoter wants. I can bring a band. You know, we can do whatever you need. It just really depends on what you want and what's your budget.
Right. So what sets Freedom Williams apart from any of the other artists? And I'm going to, you know, we're not going to just look at everyday artists. Of course, you're a celebrity. You've been a celebrity for a long time, and we can look at some of the other celebrity artists that are out there and other rappers and different things. But what really sets you apart from all the other, you know, hip-hop or rap music that's out there?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I do something differently, man. I'm a dance artist. I'm what they call the Lucky Don, the godfather of dance. You know,
right.
Think of Pitbull or Flow Rider.
Yeah, I always noticed that. You've always had some really good moves in your videos.
Huh?
You've always had some really good moves in your videos. I mean, being able to move around. And
no, I do hip-hop, but I'm a hip-hop head, but I do dance music. My love is hip-hop. I kind of, you know, the record that we made, Gonna Make You Sweat, blew up, so it kind of ventured us off. But, you know, when you look at, like I said, Pitbull or Flow Rider or any of those guys, they kind of come from a tree of hip-hop. Even Nelly to a degree a little bit. So that's what sets me apart, really. And I give it, you know, when I'm on stage, man, I give it 1,000%. There's not many guys that go harder than me on stage.
And I know what you're saying, because when you look at, some of your videos and you're moving around, you got all those dance moves, and you're really hyping into it and stuff. You might see another rapper, he's just kind of standing in place and he's kind of moving side to
Yeah,
side, but you're really animated all over the place. I mean, really doing,
yeah.
it's
Well,
fun to watch you.
my music is dance.
Yeah,
Got to give you some kind of movement.
yeah,
Jay-Z can just stand there because he's Jay-Z. It's 98 beats per minute.
right,
He ain't got to move a lot. So
right,
that's his thing.
right. Well, good. I mean, that's basically the questions I have for right now. Unless you have anything else you want to say before we wrap up, anything that you want to plug regarding like any new like you mentioned your business already, but if there's anything else other than that, I think all I want to basically say is thank you for your time and for this interview. Thank you for the opportunity to feature on the cover of TR Magazine. We're really excited about that. And also, if you can keep us in mind and help plug TR Magazine, so this opportunity will exist for other young artists in the future. They have this publicity opportunity. Some people say, well, why should I buy TR Magazine? Well, the reason why is because you may not have as much of a chance to get in like, Vogue or Cosmopolitan or Sports Illustrated, but we're going to help feature you and get your name out through TR Magazine. And we find this to be a very positive magazine, not even just for unknown artists, but also for celebrities, for professional and celebrity artists. So if you can help us help get the word out, we would appreciate that, and we do appreciate your time.
No doubt. You can just follow me, man. Official.freedom.williams on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. Twitter is Freewilly, FREEWILLY 707. Like I said, Chaibe, you can follow my social media for that, xaibe.net, on Shop Chaibe on Facebook. That's on Twitter and Instagram as well. And if you guys can post, you can take even the page on Chaibe and you can promote to the artists that are going to be on that site as well. So, like I said, we're in a world now, man, where we're into our communities have merged.
Right.
And so, if you look at what the blockchain is television, it's moving money, it's moving massive amounts of media in a secure network. So that's just the world that we're in, man. So like I said, you can Google me, you can check out the music, Spotify, Freedom Williams, see what I got going on. Follow me on my Instagram page. My website is freedomwilliams.com. And yeah, man, that's what's up.
Well, yeah, we will have you in this magazine, and it'll be good printed, but we'll also be doing like an online publication as well, and that link will be there. If you or any of your people can either take that link and post it on your page or something, definitely help get it out and get people, and maybe also even encourage people to buy this magazine, because this is going to be a good story, and you're on the cover and stuff, and it's good publicity for you and for both of us. So. But once again, it's been a pleasure to have you and do this interview, and I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us, and we wish you much success moving forward.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it anytime, man. When is the article coming out? When is it going to be out?
The magazine will release the first. We try to get it on the first of the month or pretty close to that date. So and we're working to make sure that happens this month as well. So. The article will be available then, but we also try to get the article. We work to get the article to the artist before the actual publication. So you'll have a chance, as long as I have that email in your email, I can shoot this article. You can take a look at it before it actually launches.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you off the record about maybe some cross promotions too.
Okay, so let's just say that concludes the interview for now, and I'm gonna stop the recording.